The downfall has already set in. One after another, America's most legendary motorcycle names are shutting their doors, bowing out, or collapsing beneath years of neglect. What was once the anthem of freedom, the thunder of engines echoing across open highways, is now slipping quietly into silence. If you've ever owned one of these bikes, or even dreamed of riding one, you need to hear the truth. Because when the dealerships disappear and spare parts dry up, it won't just drain your wallet, it might take away your future on the road. Over the next few minutes, I'll uncover the 5 motorcycle brands saying farewell to America. By the end of this countdown, you'll see just how deep the collapse runs, and why the brand at number 1 proves that no company, no matter how iconic, is untouchable. Number 3. Suzuki. For decades, this brand served as the quiet backbone of American motorcycling. It never demanded the spotlight, yet its machines carried riders across the country, through backroads, highways, and small town streets where reliability outweighed flashy styling. Fathers passed them down to sons, neighbors repaired them in home garages, and countless beginners felt freedom for the very first time astride one of these bikes. But in 2025, that steady heartbeat has weakened. The name once tied to honest value and no-nonsense dependability now risks becoming just a memory. Once celebrated as the working man's faithful companion, it has faded into the shadows while rival manufacturers surge ahead with bold designs, cutting-edge features, and far-reaching dealer support. What was once the obvious choice for riders chasing miles without headaches now stands on shaky ground, admired in hindsight, yet often ignored in the present. This brand's foundation in the United States was always accessibility. Unlike the high-priced Europeans or the heritage-heavy American cruisers, it offered machines that blended affordability with enough performance to satisfy commuters and weekend tourers alike. Generations of younger riders began here, sharpening their skills on sport models before moving up to larger machines. Older riders trusted the cruisers as steady companions, bikes that asked for little but gave back plenty. In the 1970s and 1980s, the logo seemed to be everywhere, shaping the very landscape of American riding. For many, their first taste of the open road came on one of these motorcycles. But over time, the very qualities that made this brand strong turned into weaknesses. A cautious approach to design left many models unchanged for years, sticking to proven platforms rather than daring innovations. While that strategy kept prices down, it also fueled an image of stagnation. Competitors surged ahead with modern electronics, rider assist systems, and fresh styling, while these machines began to look outdated. In an industry where perception drives sales, that proved costly. Riders want motorcycles that feel current and alive, not ones locked in the past. The shrinking dealer network has been another blow. Once spread across small towns nationwide, dealerships have dwindled, making it harder for riders to buy new models, order parts, or get timely service. For those in rural areas, that often means long drives just to keep their bikes running. And when support fades, so does trust in the brand. Even the most reliable machine becomes harder to sell if help is too far away. Stepping away from global racing also marked a turning point. For decades, racing success reinforced the company's image as a serious competitor. MotoGP wins and endurance victories reminded riders that the showroom machines shared DNA with those on the track. But when the brand withdrew in 2022, it sent a message: motorcycles were no longer a top priority. For performance enthusiasts, that retreat raised doubts about long-term commitment. Today, older riders in America recall the name with warmth. They remember honest value, straightforward engineering, and the feeling of getting more than they paid for. But nostalgia cannot keep a brand alive. Without renewed investment in design, marketing, and dealership growth, these bikes risk being forgotten by younger generations who never experienced that legacy firsthand. Practical riders might still find dependable engines here, but the broader market leans toward brands that feel more alive, more present, and more aggressive in courting new buyers. The truth is clear. This company still builds motorcycles, still holds a reputation for durable engines, and still has global recognition. But recognition without relevance is a dangerous position. In the US, Where competition is fierce and loyalty is earned mile by mile, the ground beneath its wheels is slipping. The motorcycles still exist, but the road ahead is uncertain. Unless priorities shift, this once proud name may quietly fade from the American landscape. And the next brand on this list proves that even heritage and character cannot always shield a company from the same fate. Number 2. Honda. Across the long arc of motorcycling history, few badges have carried the same weight of romance and character as the Soaring Eagle. This Italian marque built its reputation not by chasing volume sales, but by crafting motorcycles that possessed a spirit all their own. Each machine carried individuality and craftsmanship, appealing to riders who valued tradition and soul over mass market conformity. It was never about being the most common sight on the road, it was about being the most meaningful. For years, its motorcycles stood as rolling statements of heritage, reminders that two wheels could stir emotion without needing to follow the crowd. But today, that legacy finds itself at a crossroads. Passion still exists, yet its footprint in America has thinned, leaving only die-hard loyalists keeping the flame alive while the larger market speeds ahead. The story of this Italian icon began in the early 1920s along the shores of Lake Como. Three military friends, bonded by their service and vision of motorcycling's future, laid the groundwork for what would become one of the oldest continuously operating motorcycle brands in the world. Its machines earned respect for their transverse V-twin engines, unique sound, and balanced handling. Riders knew these bikes were not just transportation, they were identity, a cultural connection that valued individuality. To own one meant stepping outside the mainstream, joining a smaller, more devoted brotherhood of enthusiasts. But in modern America, that legacy has diminished. Dealerships that once dotted regional hubs have become scarce, leaving many riders without nearby support. Service is limited, parts often require patience, and while loyalists endure these obstacles, newcomers hesitate. A motorcycle may deliver character and style, but without accessible maintenance and reliable parts, practicality becomes an issue. For many buyers, that outweighs the charm of the ride itself. Design choices have slowed the brand's momentum, too. Rivals pushed ahead with advanced rider aids, traction control, and refined electronics, while this company remained cautious. Its timeless styling and mechanical feel earned praise from purists, but younger riders often saw the bikes as outdated. In today's competitive environment, where modern tech shapes purchasing decisions, standing still is as dangerous as sliding backward. For longtime fans, that slower pace is reassuring. For the new generation, it feels like neglect. Parent company priorities have also diluted its position. With larger corporations spreading resources across multiple brands, often favoring scooters or sport machines, the Eagle badge receives less direct investment. Heritage has become its strongest pillar, but innovation lags behind. Announcements of upgrades in Italy offer glimpses of commitment, yet in the US, visibility remains faint. In a market dominated by heavy cruisers and long-distance tours, niche positioning is a risky game. Still, the loyalty of its core riders remains remarkable. Those who ride these machines describe the V-twin as a heartbeat, not just an engine. They celebrate the torque, the rhythm, and the comfort that form a bond few other motorcycles replicate. That passion sustains the brand, even as its American presence shrinks. But passion alone is not enough. Without stronger vision and investment, the Eagle risks becoming admired only in memory. Looking ahead, the question remains, is heritage alone sufficient? The brand still offers qualities that set it apart: soulful performance, rich history, and individuality. But it lacks scale, presence, and resources to compete head-to-head in the US. Unless its leadership strengthens the dealer base and commits to modernization, the Eagle's flight may continue downward. For older riders, its loss would mean more than a business failure. It would be the fading of a symbol of European pride that once brought something truly unique to America's highways. The next entry shows another brand steeped in prestige and exclusivity, yet one that also struggles to keep its ground across the Atlantic. Number 1. Harley-Davidson. For countless riders, this brand has never been just a motorcycle, it has been a way of life. Its machines became the anthem of America's highways, carrying the thunder of V-twin engines and the promise of unfiltered freedom. Chrome gleamed, leather creaked, and the horizon stretched endlessly forward. Over more than a century, the company became not only a manufacturer but a culture, a brotherhood binding riders across cities and small towns. Yet in 2025, that same history is both a strength and a burden. Heritage keeps loyal riders attached, but rising costs, an aging core audience, and reluctance to embrace change threaten its future. Its legacy is unmatched, but its survival depends on adapting without losing its soul. The company began in Milwaukee in the early 1900s, when a group of young men built a motorized bicycle in a small shed. From those modest roots, it grew into America's largest motorcycle manufacturer, shaping culture both on and off the road. By the 1920s, its bikes were trusted by police, soldiers, and working-class riders. After World War II, the V-twin became the heartbeat of a generation chasing independence. Its motorcycles weren't just machines, they were cultural symbols. But in 2025, the challenge is not recognition, it's relevance. Prices have soared, pushing bikes out of reach for the very working-class riders who once made them legends. With entry-level cruisers starting above $22,000, younger buyers see them as unattainable. What was once everyday freedom now feels like a luxury. For those who remember when saving for a year or two could put them on the saddle, today's prices feel out of touch. Generational appeal is another hurdle. What once symbolized rebellion, leather, patches, and roaring V-twins, now feels tied to fathers and grandfathers. Younger riders want lighter machines, versatility, and modern features, while Harley has leaned on tradition. Efforts like lighter cruisers and electrics exist but remain small beside the heavy touring lineup. Competition tightens the squeeze. Japanese and European brands deliver advanced tech, safety aids, and affordability. Riders looking for value often turn elsewhere, while Harley leans on heritage appeal. For some, that works. For others, it signals resistance to change. Still, the brand's strengths remain undeniable. Its nationwide dealer network ensures unmatched access. Its community of rallies, clubs, and traditions binds riders for life. For many older Americans, Harley means more than a motorcycle. It's a roar echoing in canyons, a cruiser carrying them across states, and the pride of belonging to something bigger. That emotional bond keeps it alive, but emotions alone won't attract new buyers. Without fresh generations stepping in, its community will age, and its presence will thin. The company's future depends on finding balance, heritage with innovation, prestige with accessibility. If it succeeds, it will remain the symbol of American motorcycling. If not, its past may outshine its future. For now, it stands tall, but the road ahead may test it harder than any ride before. This last entry proves the point. No brand, no matter how legendary, is immune to the forces reshaping motorcycling. The road has always been more than pavement. It is memory, identity, and freedom. These brands shaped the rides of our fathers and grandfathers. Today, many face uncertain tomorrows. Yet their stories live on in the miles we ride, the communities we build, and the voices we raise. If these machines mean something to you, don't let their legacy disappear. Subscribe, share this video, and keep the conversation alive in the comments, because the open road is strongest when riders stand together, refusing to let history fade away.